This very short video lecture introduces the hydrological cycle. This is a picture of the hydrological cycle after the textbook by Ward and Robinson. To the lower right, we see the ocean surface. The ocean surface is heated by the sun. Because of this, the water is heated and water molecules start to move more quickly. A number of water molecules escape from the ocean into the air above, a process called evaporation. Also, the air above the water is heated, and immediately as a process, this heat wants to be distributed over a larger column of air. So the air starts to rise. Because the heat is distributed over this larger column of air, the rising air starts to cool. So we have rising, cooling air above the ocean surface. At a certain height, the air will become fully saturated with water vapor. Why is this? This is because cold air can contain less water vapor molecules than warm air. Because the air is rising and cooling, at a certain height it will become fully saturated with water vapor. Then, if the temperature drops further, water vapor will start to condensate. We can observe the level, the height at which this takes place, as the level or the height where we have clouds. Clouds are very small water droplets floating in the air. These water droplets can coalesce, grow bigger, and get that big that they cannot be held in the air against the updraft of the air. They then start to fall, a process called precipitation. Precipitation can be in different forms: snow or hail or rainfall. Very often in the mid-latitudes, precipitation starts as snow or hail higher up in the atmosphere, and then lower down in the atmosphere, because of the higher temperatures, the snow or hail changes into rainfall. Water falls on vegetation or buildings on the land surface, or on the land surface itself. Water can become intercepted by vegetation or by buildings, a process called interception storage. Interception storage is the amount of water per unit of time that is stored on vegetation or buildings. From there it can evaporate into the atmosphere, a process called interception evaporation. Interception evaporation, thus, is the amount of water per unit of time evaporating from these leaves of the trees or from these rooftops of the buildings into the atmosphere. Infiltration is the amount of water per unit of time that falls on the land surface and infiltrates into the land surface. The infiltrated water can move further down towards the water table, a process called percolation. Water stored as groundwater can very slowly contribute to surface water in the streams. Also, in sloping terrain, water can flow above the water table as soil water flow. Part of the water that does not infiltrate is stored at the land surface, from where it can flow over the land surface, a process called overland flow. Groundwater flow, soil water flow, and overland flow all contribute to surface water flow, water in streams and rivers that takes the water back to the sea and to the ocean, closing the hydrological cycle. Of course, there are many shortcuts and feedback mechanisms to be added to this general scheme.